according to the cloud. All right. Well, hello, everybody. This is Lori, and we are talking today with my good friend in Australia, Katerina. And
Hi, everybody.
Katerina is amazing. She's a channel for Archangel Gabriel and the Galactic Federation, among other things. So we thought it would be fun to have a little conversation talking about all this crazy stuff going on and how we are handling it and what our guidance is. So, Katerina, tell everybody what you do and a little bit about yourself. And
Yeah. Well, hi, everybody. Yes, my name's Katerina. I live in South Australia. I am a energy and ascension master. I have braided in with Archangel Gabriel, so that means he sits in my higher heart and uses my throat and my eyes to be able to talk to you directly. So that took about a year to make that happen. I also am connected to the Galactic Federation, the Syrian High Council, the Pleiadian Brotherhood of Light, and the Arcturians. And also just got connected to the Andromeda system, and his name is Zorian. And what we're doing is we're going to braid our energies together so we can become a platform. So that means Archangel Gabriel and Zorian is creating a masculine platform for me, so my feminine can become empowered and have a platform to be able to talk to the world. I teach my clients how to connect with their energies. How does it work for them? How does it feel for them? All those things, everyday living. I'm a life coach as well. And I also help people to connect with their higher self and have a everyday conversation at a conscious level.
how important is that during all of this, huh?
How important is that in just everyday living? I mean, the connection, what I do is I connect you up with your higher self that wants to speak to you, and then they become your gatekeeper, and then I show them how to do it safely, how to create boundaries, how to understand that once you do this, your life will change, and how to cope with your everyday life. The rewards is you'll become a lot more focused, you become more grounded, and the idea is to embody your spiritual awareness into your physical body, because that's what's important.
Amen. Amen. And I mean, it is so important. It's exciting. And, I, like you, channel the Galactic Federation. And I'm a healer as well, as my people know, but work a lot with crystals. But it's fun how all the information coming through that is clear is absolutely spot on, accurate, no matter who you talk to. And people need to realize that, like, everyone's looking for the right answers, like here. It's like, it's in your heart. And everyone's going to speak the same information in a different way to reach you. And that's what's so amazing is we have to tap into our heart and read these people's energy about what's going on, because you're not going to get it from the MSM or the newspapers or whatever. It's a very interesting time. I think it's making all of us go within. And it's so important to help people connect to that. So grateful for you to do that, for sure.
Yeah, it's very important to use this time. And the message that I have just recently got is that all those in the know must become the silent observer right now.
Absolutely.
So the way I see that is, don't get drawn into the dramas, just sit quietly and go within and find your answers, because, like I always say, I'm no better or less than anybody just because I do all these wonderful things. I mean, everybody else can do them. It's just teaching yourself how to do it. And yes, we all seem to be getting the same. We all seem to be tapping into the same level of energy or consciousness that's giving us the answer. We just all have our own interpretation, really.
And what's amazing is knowing absolutely with the utmost certainty in my heart, I have so much peace, because I know I am watching a drama play out. And it is fabulous. And there are twists and there are turns. We know where it ends up, sort of. We don't know exactly the details, but we know where it's going. And you see so many people walking around in fear and spreading that. And it's just, they're going to wake up eventually. Not everyone, but as many as we can. So it's interesting to see. Before we started recording, Katerina and I were comparing notes, and everyone's going into lockdown. Gee, isn't that interesting? Right before Thanksgiving and Christmas. We don't want people to be joyful. We don't want people to talk to each other or be with loved ones. So it's really, really funny to see that. And from, I don't know about from your perspective, but from what we're seeing here, there's all these crazy draconian Orwellian measures being put upon us, and no one's paying attention. So where that goes, we'll see. But nobody is following them that I can see, except the people that are afraid to leave their house, and that's okay. They'll be safe there. That's fine. So I don't know if you guys are following the draconian lockdown measures or not.
Well, right now in South Australia, where I am, we've got 6-day lockdown, which means we can't leave the house without a mask. The supermarkets are open because they're essentials. You know, anything that's essential is still operating, but you can't go for a walk. You can't do any of those things. So the way I feel about it is, South Australia was doing so great for 7 months. We had like one case, right? So we were freely walking around. Eventually, you know, we were able to go to the beautician and go and have dinner and all this. Like, we were able to do all these things. And then Victoria went down into this huge draconian lockdown as well. And then suddenly in South Australia, because this is my opinion, we all very free, you know, laid back type like Australians are. And then suddenly, suddenly the cases went up. And really, how did that happen? One person apparently was at one of those hotels for quarantine. And apparently his wife, he had it, then he gave it. Look, please, I don't even know the real story. His wife had it, or he had it, or something, and then they passed it on. The next minute there's 34 cases. Next minute there's, you know, 4-hour lineup in cars to get tested. People who have never been sick are suddenly being declared they've got the virus, you know.
Right. However, and they have to be tested to know that they have it. That's how deadly this thing is, you know. It's just outrageous.
Well, but let's look at it from a different. Let's look at it from an energetic, galactic, angelic point of view, shall we? Let's put the human side away, right? Now, let me share with you what happened to me yesterday morning while I was talking to my good friend. We were having a chat, and suddenly I felt like the energy shifted. Something happened, and I suddenly went silent. Right now, I have a mantis that stands behind me 24/7, who's my protector. Right, a mantis, 12 foot, you know, the whole thing. Anyway, so what happened was suddenly in my discovery, because I didn't know I could do this till yesterday, I merged with him. He became me, like his energy and my energy merged. So suddenly I felt like I had his attendants, you know, right. And then around me, I felt like I went into like a like one of those snow globe things, you know.
Yeah.
I was just surrounded, right? And it went a little foggy at the same time. And then just outside of there, through my third eye, I saw a helicopter, and 2 reptilians jumped out of the helicopter looking around for me. And I'm sitting there going, well, this is interesting. And Gabriel's going, it's okay, it's okay. And then, you know, everyone's telling me it's okay. My friend on the phone was holding space for me. And I was just watching this. and they were just trying to find me. And as they were getting closer to me, I found that my energy got stronger and more globy type, you know, like I'm in a globe type of thing. And then that obviously they didn't see me. Suddenly they jumped in the helicopter, off they go, and then suddenly the blue skies again. Like, I'm sitting there going, wow.
Yeah.
Right. So unbeknownst to me, this is what I can do now, right? Unbeknownst to me to that moment. Anyway, the point of my little story is that we found out that we always thought Uluru was the pinnacle part of Australia. Okay, you know but however, it's Adelaide, not Uluru.
Huh.
It's Adelaide. Yes, it's Adelaide.
One of the primordial mounds, huh?
It's an important grid on the planet apparently. So my story is really all about how there's a high general draconian roaming at Adelaide.
There's a lot of stuff I've heard too underneath there. A lot of the military industrial complex and.
Well, there's one particular, I'll call him gentleman. He's a high-end military draconian, and the reason for the shutdown is so he can't leave the state.
Right, and that's another thing is the lockdowns are not only exposing the governors and whoever of whatever province or whatever state, it's exposing people who are in the deep state or under the deep state spell, but it's also anything that the dark side does, the white hats, the light workers are using it to their advantage. So there's a lot to clear up. So
yes,
all of this stuff is serving the light no matter what. And it's very interesting.
Yes.
Here's another thing too. You were talking about having to shapeshift like to not be detected. Have you been finding in your clients all sorts of weird stuff? Like AI remnants, that kind of stuff?
Well, with the clients that I have right now, one client I'm up leveling her because she's just about to reach where we are, right? Where I am, where you are. So I'm up leveling her, I'm activating her. Then I have another client who's just she's done tarots and stuff, but she's just starting to want to know more. So they're the type of clients I have. In as far as the ultra, what's that called? Ultra mind control thing, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, the MK Ultra, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll be censored for saying that on a video, but that's okay.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, just so you all know, I don't have fancy labels or names for how I understand things. I just speak, I just speak the energy, right? So where?
Oh, you were talking about the reptilians and the helicopter, and then
oh yeah. So what's happening is they're obviously I'm important for that to happen. So that's going to happen a lot for a lot of us who are doing the deep, who are doing the work, who are doing the deep work, who are aligning to their true selves, because that's what we're doing. This is what this time's all about, is self-healing, is they're aligning us to our purpose and to who we truly are. So don't be surprised if suddenly you've discovered you have a new ability that camouflages you.
And you know what's funny is the more of us that wake up, again, it's like whack-a-mole. They can't get us all. They are diminishing and we are just exponentially expanding. And it's funny because you do see them. They do come and they can't touch you. They can't touch us if we are in our power. But what they do, of course, they will come to you and try to get you into fear. And then you lose your power, you lose your light, and they can get in. I am finding, I've always, one of the things that I do a lot of is remove entities and attachments from people. Oh, yeah. I have been finding it's not the normal stuff. This is,
no.
You look at, this is how I was trying to describe it to somebody. The little numbers and all that raining down on the matrix, that's what I'm pulling out of people now. I'm not kidding. This is like a recent development. So something has shifted where this AI is really coming in with the reptilian stuff. And I feel like I'm pulling these matrix, like the numbers and the flashings and the ones and the zeros, and pulling them out of people. And so this is happening. They're just in full blown attack mode. All of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so many who watch this, who are maybe seeing me a little hesitant, there are things that I am under obligationary contract, which means I can't talk.
Yeah, non-disclosure agreement.
I can't talk about it a lot. Well, it feels like I get gagged when I try to talk about it. It's only because simultaneously in this moment I'm doing work energetically, and I have to be careful what I say.
Absolutely.
Right? However, the other day, what I can share is that the Dark Alliance, now you already, the Dark Alliance, what I call the Cabal, right? Yeah. And then you got the light. They're working together.
On a higher level. Yes, they are. I mean, even the reptilians have a higher level.
Yes, higher dimensional. At a higher dimensional point of view, I'm talking beyond 12.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm talking beyond 8 dimension here. There's a high dimensional darkness, because they've had to create that to keep up with us. Because as we're raising our frequency, and as we're raising our energies, we're lifting the lid of 3D and getting closer to 12D and then onwards, right? I'm communicating, 16D here. Mm-hmm.
Right.
So a lot of you are going to find that as you unravel your shadows and you've got to become friends with your shadow. You just can't push it aside and say, oh yeah, I've dealt with that, because let me tell you, it's going to come back and bite you on the butt.
It is. And this is massive, massive. I mean, we've seeged into the 4th dimension, which is where all the astral stuff, all the karma is. We are going through all of our personal and planetary karma. I mean, it has to be clear. This is why we're seeing this divide, this polarity, this intense craziness. It has to come out and it has to be cleared. At what point does more of it start clearing? Well, I think a lot more is clearing than we know.
Definitely.
It's so much is clearing, but we've got a ways to go. And it's okay. But yeah, you're right about the shadow. I mean, you've got to work with your own shadow first before you start trying to heal the world. And I think a lot of people, they learn how to be healers and they run right out to help everybody because that's what we want to do. We want to serve, but it's like, oh, you got to start at home. That's what this time is for sure about. Starting at home.
It's important. Yes, it's important. And it's important because you see, at a different level of understanding, okay, when you're at home, you're safe because there's energy walking the streets that you cannot see that would dismantle the human energy in just like that. We just can snuff it out as well. Like, because you got to understand, we've attracted the big boys. It's not this 1 and 2 lower vibration that's been around for eons that are just playing havoc with with humans.
Yeah.
We're talking big boys here. We're talking high-end generals. And let me say to you, please remember, you can be the best at what you can do. If you don't clean your energy every day, you will have things attached to you that'll just blow your mind away because you didn't even see it.
Yeah, and I'm seeing that so much in my clients, like especially people that are evolved. I mean, but they've fallen because something has happened. And all of a sudden they've got all these attachments and this weird AI stuff I'm pulling out that is unlike anything I've seen ever. This is a new thing. And so it's interesting, but we have to also declare, I am a sovereign being. I mean, I keep telling everybody, it's like, declare your sovereignty. It's time to stand in your power, declare your sovereignty, and say, I do not submit to any of this. You know, I am a sovereign being. My energy field, only love and light comes in, especially when you're asleep.
Sure.
So
Sure.
important.
Yes,
You know,
sure. However, Lori, people need to understand. This is why I say, like, I do Facebook Lives in my light language group, or, very much in my light language. I use that as my platform to really speak. Right. Yes, no, you all got to understand, even me, that we're making history, right? As we all know.
Absolutely, galactic history.
So as a healer, as a healer, a way shower, grid worker, ascension master, they're all labels, right? That's all labels.
Yes.
What's important is that you learn to understand your energy and where you are at with that energy, because as you remove more layers of your shadow, you're going to ignite more light about who you are. Like, for example, I shared with the camouflage with the mantis. I didn't know I could do that till that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's not like a textbook. It's not like you can go and read a book and say, okay, 1, 2, 3, this is what's going to happen now. It's not like that, ladies and gentlemen.
But when we're in the moment and we just do what we're guided to do without questioning the procedure and the steps, it just happens. It happens naturally, and our guides are just waiting for us to do that. And I know a lot of people are more left-brained and they want the linear sequence, and we have to kind of step out of that and just fly by the seat of our pants and just trust.
Yeah.
And it's fun. That's why, to me, this is the most amazing time. I love it, and I just can't wait to see what's around the next corner. And my guide Wiltara, who is Arcturian, several months ago, like towards the middle of this, she was like, beloved, if you could know the outcome and how everything turns out right now, would you? And I said, honestly, I would rather live through the unfoldment. And I said, wait a minute, can I change my answer? But there are times when I'm like, wait. But I mean, really living through the unfoldment, this is like the best movie ever. And that's why all the beings of the whole universe, this affects the whole universe. What we're doing here, it's so important. It's not just about an election. Everyone thinks it's about an election. It's so fun. I mean, it's just important. Yeah, it's important, but this is about dark and light. This is about evil versus good. I mean, and God wins, right? And that's the way it was always meant to be. How it actually plays out, no one knows. That's why our guides can't be exactly, because everyone's like, what's going to happen? They don't even know, because they're seeing this multi-dimensional chessboard and all of these moving parts. And so if they don't know, we can't know. We just have to see how it unfolds. And it's so funny because 10 people can look at the exact same, whether it's a screen or it's whatever kind of information, and have 10 completely different opinions. And that's what we're seeing right now. And so all we have is our heart. And all of this stuff playing out, it's amazing because, like I said, I have full, absolute certainty that everything is going to turn out the right way. I mean, we all know that one way is the direct trajectory towards the new earth. It doesn't mean that it wouldn't happen if something went wrong. Of course, it's not going to. But if there was a time when we didn't know that, and it would still happen, it would be delayed. They've already delayed this ascension a while. I always laugh. I'm looking like the rest of the galaxy's like, hello, will you guys get your shit together on Earth? But it's kind of like that. But we're ready to do this. But as many people as can wake up need to wake up so we can get on with the show.
Sure, but everybody is where they should be. Whether there are those who are being activated with the Dark Alliance, and then there's those with the light, right?
There are those being attacked.
We got to all remember that we're all playing a part, as you're saying, right? Mm-hmm. We're all part of a big chess game, right? Yes. What's important is that as a sovereign being or a high dimensional energy being, okay, if that's how you want to call it, you gotta dig deep into your humanity and look at what doesn't work and look at what does work, because this all relies on how you respond and what you take in as your truth. I mean, I know a lot of people wouldn't be able to, a lot of people don't listen to me. That's fine. Only those that resonate. That's great, because I do the same thing. Mm-hmm. But as far as the Galactics and all the councils, we're writing the books because this has never happened before.
Never happened before.
We got to a point back in 2006. We got to that point 4 times.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, and we're playing out. Okay, we're taking off where Atlantis ended, and it's going to be different. That's why we Atlanteans are back to finish it, so to speak, to get us to that next level. So we're not going around with the endless wars and the endless horrible stuff.
Sure.
We're about to evolve beyond the grasp of these reptilians and the AI collective. We're about to evolve beyond them. They can't come to 5D. They don't have the consciousness. They can't hold resonance there.
No, they can't. That's the 5D light, right? There is a 5D darkness, let me tell you. They let me see this the other day. And that's not commonly known.
I have never seen 5D darkness. Explain.
Oh, well, it's what I'm saying is there's 5D earth for the light. There's 5D earth for the darkness. You all have to understand.
The polarity.
Yes.
I know.
But you can't. Yeah, but you can't even use that word. It's beyond human words. You can't use polarity, because somebody said to me, oh, but isn't there polarity? Again, yeah, but you got to put your human understanding aside, because what we're doing now is going beyond the human understanding of what's going on. That's why it's important to unravel and look at your everyday life, because if you're not embodying your higher selves remember, your higher self is your information, your tools, and your successful completion. Mm-hmm. That's a higher self, right?
And here's what's important too. So many people think like, oh my God, am I up to it? Am I worthy? It's like, you know what, if you're asking those questions, then of course we're all worthy. And it's like you're asking those questions, which means that you're examining. And that's the important thing, is like, look in your heart. The gurus are gone. How many spiritual leaders that have millions of followers have fallen?
Well, because
you've seen it.
They're not doing the shadow work. That's why.
Yeah, it's all love and light on the mountaintop. Excuse me, our mystery school is walking through this life, through this ascension in the mud with everybody else. And that's what's different, sure, there will always be people holding resonance on the mountaintop, but we've done that before. We've done that in other lifetimes. And this time we're down here with everybody trying to wake people up. The people that are meant to will come to someone who will help wake them up. It's funny. You see little things, like, especially with this election going on, everybody thinks they know everything, and no one will look at the other side. And it's just really funny. But I'm seeing people that you never, ever thought would wake up, and it's little tiny things. My mother, for example, she was completely in one camp and never listened to a word I said. One thing turned her. It was like one little thing that one side had said, and then she got it. So now she's more open to what's really happening. And she'll never understand it all, because she doesn't want to. And that's fine.
Sure, but but we don't understand it all.
No, that's for sure.
Right?
That's for sure.
So we got to remove the judgment, right? And as far as waking up people, we're not here to wake no one up. We're here to remind people of what they already have.
Good distinction.
Right? So from a 3D human perspective, we're not here to force somebody to wake. If somebody does not resonate with what you're saying, that's fine. You have to learn to not respond, and have to learn to understand that they are where they are at, because there are 24 conscious levels on the planet. So everybody is where they should be, right?
And you know what? Everybody is learning that from social media, from their families, from their groups. I mean, people that you used to be in complete resonance with, they're not hearing you. You're not hearing them. And we're forgetting. I mean, the darkness has been very masterful in this, putting us against each other, dividing us. However, it is also serving us, because it's bringing out all those bugaboos, all that karmic stuff that has to work, and people keep fighting. And it's like, I laugh. You've seen it. You see it on Facebook where people are going back and forth. It's like, there's a delete button, there's a remove button, a block button. I'm not dealing with it. I refuse to do that, but people are still doing it. And it's like, I don't want to bring that energy.
No, but that's okay too, because they're showing you that they are awakening, and that's why they're doing that. They're questioning it and everything else, and that's fine. Because remember when we woke up? Oh my gosh, I remember when I woke up. I asked every question that I could even imagine, and my mentor kept saying to me, "Okay, I'm going to teach you how not to pick up that rock and look underneath it." I went, "Okay." Right? Because I was the one that has a why, how, what, and what for all the time.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating to see this playing out. It's just, I love it, because when you're looking from that higher perspective, you're looking down on the chessboard going, damn, that was a fabulous move. That was amazing. And it's so cool to be part of this and like to know what's going on as much as we can. And just to have complete peace within it, because there's so many levels of understanding.
Sure. And that's the idea. That's the idea, is to find, once you find that clarity, and once you understand why you respond and do all those things, you're just removing that layer and you become peaceful. So when everything becomes quiet and everything becomes still, then you're having your aha moment.
Right. And we know that this is a storm. We can stay in the center of the storm, but it's going to be coming to everyone's door in one form or another, especially here and probably in other places too. I mean, I know that we live in the epicenter of what's going on, and what is about to be unleashed is going to cause really but it has to happen. No revolution happens in the dead of the night with nobody knowing about it. It just doesn't.
No.
And so we're ready for this. We've been ready for this for 26,000 years. We're ready. We've been ready for eons. It's time.
Well, can I just say, no, we weren't ready. This is why we did all the shadow work, so we can become ready. We
weren't ready, but I mean, some of us feel we're ready, but
of course, I know what you're saying.
Other people have to see, or they won't. It's up to them. And the people that are asking questions are the ones that we can help.
Of course. And those who will resonate with you and me will come to me for help, and will want to spend time with us so they can understand what's going on in their lives. Because I'm going to say this again, because what's really important is you can have a whole room full of spiritual books. If you're not embodying it, and you're not doing the shadow work, and you're not doing the light work, however you want to express it, you're not going to be able to go and find new information, because karma will keep you repeating that loop until you go, oh, okay, I get it now.
We've all been there. You read the books, and then your guides are like, yeah, you need to integrate this before you move on. It's like, oh, dang, I got to do the work. But it's so
I know, right? That's right.
I know. I've complained. It's like, no, I'm bored with this. Well, you haven't mastered it yet. One thing Wiltara, my guide, always says, she says, you guys want to do all the fancy stuff, but you have not learned to love yourself. And she said, you want to build your fancy cathedrals of light, but you don't have a foundation. And so there's some things that we get bored with that she's like, you guys haven't mastered this yet. It's like, oh, okay. But that's it. People are looking outside for answers still. This expert says this, so everybody does it. This expert says this, so everybody does it. Where's the expert inside? And I think that's the most important thing, is for everybody to know that you are your own guru. You are your own
yes.
Guru. It's, you may doubt yourself from time to time. That's human. It's okay. Bring that doubt into the light. Don't shove it down. Bring that doubt out into the light. It's all right. We can't know what's going on. Much higher.
And that's important, Lori. That's exactly what the ascension is all about, is to go into your own rabbit holes and understand why you have that shadow in the first place. Now, at the same time, with energy work, you need to also get to know what is the shadow and then what is the cabal, because they're two different things too.
Yes.
And the cabal has convinced people through the New Age system that the shadow was the bad guy, and what happened was the cabal was going, great, we got them distracted, now let's go and do our thing, and this is why we are where we are today, right?
Well, we have so many so-called spiritual leaders because they've been placed. And I see, I won't mention anyone in particular, but there's some people with huge followings that are just going down the wrong path. And that's okay, whatever. I think a lot of people have been compromised along the way and they don't even realize it. When you have, what I've seen too, and I'm sure you've seen it with your people, when someone has hate in their heart, I feel like I'm going back to Star Wars with, when Anakin had that hate in his heart until he was turned to the dark side. You have hate in your heart. Maybe it's your mother didn't love you or your husband beat you or whatever it is. You still have hate in your heart. You haven't done the shadow work. You haven't forgiven. You haven't forgiven yourself for allowing it to happen. That is when they are vulnerable, because what like attracts like, hello, law of attraction comes right in. And I see people that I've known over the years that are good people and they're healers and they're this and they're that. They're really good people, but they had that nugget of hate in their heart. And so now they are compromised. And I see the downslide. I know they'll come back. I hope they will. But it's whenever there's that hate because they haven't worked on that shadow side. That's why it's so important, especially if we're locked down again. And it's going to be during your summer, and I think it's perpetual summer for you there, right? It snowed yesterday. Yeah, it snowed. So we're entering winter, which I don't mind, but it did snow yesterday. It's supposed to be a little bit nicer the next few days, but it's the time to go inward and do that work. And it's ugly and you may go kicking and screaming, but how freeing is it when you do that, when you face that dweller on the threshold? I think we're all there. I mean, we're facing a collective dark night of the soul right now.
Oh, yeah.
All of humanity. And like I said, this election is bringing it all out. And it's so funny, the stuff that's the dreams are just crazy. The other night I had a dream and I was in a big room with a bunch of people, from all different areas of my life, like from childhood through high school, through college, through, working as a nurse for a million years in the OR, and all of these people like currently in my life. And I was like, somebody come with me. I want to go explore. And I went to these back rooms and all of a sudden I was in like the bowels of some crazy, huge law office. Maybe it was the basement of the Supreme Court, and you see like the judge panels of mahogany and I'm going through these rooms and there are just books stacked to the ceiling with dust, like no one's been in them for hundreds of years. And I'm exploring these rooms and these beings were chasing me, whether it was in the dream or reality or both, I don't know. But I was trying to look at the books and I knew something was going to happen. And then a few days later, what's playing out now came to the light and I'm like, that's what that meant. And it was just really cool because I woke up and I'm like, I don't normally remember my dreams very well. And like, I was in law offices that hadn't seen the light of day in hundreds of years. The dust was like this on all these old books. So it's really interesting because that seems to be what's going to be playing out over here in this part of the drama. On this stage, it's really interesting. Like we're going back to the basics. We're going to reset everything. And I have no doubt that it's going to happen. And I don't think it's going to take as well. I think we'll have the start of it soon, whatever soon means.
I get that word all the time.
What was that?
Soon. I get that word soon all the time. That word soon could mean, for example, could mean
3 months.
2 weeks, could be 2 months, could be 2 years, could be 20 years, right? So now I say, okay, I'm just surrendered to it because I'm not waiting for that word soon anymore, right? So I've dealt with that word for 20 odd years, right?
Here we do have artificial timelines because there are certain dates by which things have to happen. So we are constrained by those timelines by our Constitution. So there is that. It's going to be interesting because all I know is, and I know that it's all going to be good. But so many
Well,
people
over here,
in fear. I mean, I know what happens here. This is the epicenter and it affects the rest of the world. And who knew that would ever be, but here we are. And it's going to be good. It's all going to be good. I just, I can't prove it yet. But I know it. And a lot of people know it. When you have that peace, and not worrying about the news reports, not worrying about every video, just kind of letting it play out and having your popcorn and watching.
yes, well, yes, I've been eating a lot of popcorn.
Yes, exactly. But it is interesting because everybody is getting the chance to see what a NWO would look like.
Well, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say, so, let's God bless all those who have been activated through the darkness to show us these things, because let me tell you, energetically, it wouldn't be easy to be an arsehole, especially if they came from being a loving being of light.
And a lot of them too, they have been compromised, and some of them can't get out without assistance now. And we don't know who are the ones coerced. You can look at these people, and I think we've talked about this before. You can look at these people and see that they are possessed. They are possessed by demonic energy, by someone else's energy. It's not their energy. Especially if you compare certain people to maybe years ago. You can just feel the energy. It's like, because I tell people that all the time. They're like, how do we know? Feel the energy. No, I don't want to feel the energy. It's like, but you have to if you want to know. You can't rely on me or anybody else to tell you. It's like you've got to be able to feel, because probably the most evil person you're ever going to meet could be right next to you. You don't know.
Yeah, plus evil is a human word. So that's the other thing too. As you raise your frequencies and your vibration of your energy, you're going to find you're going to throw a lot of words out the window and start creating new words to resonate with the energy, because the old paradigm, or the 3D or the 3D paradigm still operates in those old words.
Yes.
Like, for example, can I just say the word witch?
Yeah.
Like, they want me to. So I'm not here to offend anybody, okay? So much love to everybody, but I'm just saying that word is a 3D paradigm, old word. You need to uplift and raise that frequency into, a being of light, or ascension of the highest light, or high dimensional light, right? I don't know. There's a reason why I'm saying this. Maybe a few people are going to be listening, but it does. I'm not. Please don't take offense to what I'm saying. What I'm trying to show you is there are certain words in the spiritual community that are still 3D paradigm, are still the locked in old version. Like, once upon a time, I liked the idea of being called a witch. Not anymore, because I'm not. I'm much more than that now.
Right. It's been abominated too. There's a lot of things that were once beautiful. If you look to the old religion where it was the wise women, and this has been abominated by, the satanic worshipers that are going on now that we all know about. It's been abominated, and they've taken that, just like we just had Friday the 13th. And so it was a remembrance of what they've done to that sacred divine feminine number. And they have abominated it and made everyone afraid of it, and done all sorts of satanic things with it, when that was a number of the goddess. And it's all about the divine feminine right now. Yes. And we know that the only way, what they think, because they're looking at a 3 and 4D timeline where we're looking higher, the only way that they could maintain any power whatsoever after this shift is if it's an incomplete shift, and they maintain the abominated divine feminine timeline. And that's why they put forth the females that they do, and try to get them into power, because they are the abominated divine feminine timeline, where they're aggressive and nasty and murderous and whatever. They're not the mother, the nurturer, the love, the wisdom. And so they know that that's the only way they can keep us stuck. And you work with the Syrians as well. There's a Sirius C, when it ascended, it got stuck in 4D. It got stuck. And from my understanding, they're still stuck there. They never evolved past the 4D. They couldn't get through the chute to go higher, because there was influences from the same ones that are influencing us. So
Sure.
whether that's true or not, that's my understanding in my limited way that I can. We don't want that to happen. And they were able to do that there, to abominate something.
Sure.
Yeah.
But what we are coming into now is, every time we remove a layer of what we're talking about, there are planets in the galaxy. When we do it, they do it, right?
Yes.
That's how we're connected, right? So those that are stuck are just simply at the same frequency as we are. Yes. However, for some reason, planet Earth is a master planet where there's always going to be the 3D paradigm, because that's going to be the dark night of the soul, and that still needs to operate. So, my friends, there's not going to be any ships coming in and saying, let's go to another planet. That's not going to happen.
No, we're going with Starship Gaia, wherever she goes. And anyone that doesn't want to be on the ride can leave and get on the kiddie ride, because we're going to 5D right now. But it's so exciting. And I mean, I love it, and it's okay. So, I mean, this whole lockdown thing, whatever, we knew it was coming. We thought it was going to come in September. They wanted to do something around the autumnal equinox to abominate the energies. It didn't happen here, but I know it started to happen in the UK and certain places in Europe and Ireland and that. I think hasn't New Zealand been under lockdown for since the equinox, which would have been the normal equinox.
Well, we're coming up to the 21st of December, so they're trying to stop that, right? So in Australia.
Let's talk about the winter or summer solstice, where you are, winter solstice for us. Let's talk about December 21st, because that's going to be a very exciting, energetic day.
Well, we're going to step into the age of Aquarius, yes. And this is how I interpret it. So, this is my words. So those who are doing the work will be aligned to 5D. So that means you will embody 5D in the 3D paradigm, right? On this earth, right? So that means we then will be able to be examples of what 5D is here on the planet for those who are waking up. Right? That's what that means.
Yeah. And one thing my guides have said too is the teachers of the future, there will be no question who the charlatans are, that they will be luminous, because they are in a higher vibration, and there will be no question. And I picture Yoda when he's, levitating and kind of luminous. That there will be no question. Does that happen now? Does that happen in 50 years? Again, we don't know of a timeline, but what we do know is there's going to be some kind of a micro solar flash type of energy aligned with the exact winter solstice that's going to go around the planet, because obviously the solstice goes through. All the stargates are going to be open. There's going to be this micro solar flash that everyone on the planet is going to notice in some way, even if it's subconscious, even if it's unconscious. But those of us who are ready, I think that we're going to notice something's different. So we'll see, the winter solstice is always very powerful. And, why did all the ancients align their temples with the solstices, right? And the equinoxes? They knew the stargates opened then. The earth, Gaia, is wide open to all these celestial frequencies coming in. And those of us aligned with her and with those celestial frequencies coming in are going to be activated in a way that's we've been getting these all along, but I think this is going to be bigger. And again, we'll see. But yes, you're right. They do want to stop it, and they can't. Nothing can stop what's coming. Nothing. Nothing can stop.
That's right. What do my team, like, I have this thing about how we're always sitting around a kitchen table having coffee and cake, right? That's my thing, right? And so, you know, it's like, so imagine that scenario. We were sitting around the table and they're saying to me, "You're a funny lot," and I'm going, "Oh, right. Why is that?" And then, like, because they tap into my sarcasm, and whoever thought I had that I'm sarcasm, right? I've had my group in belly laughs because of the sarcasm, because Gabriel taps into it and just comes out with these one-liners that just makes us laugh. Because the thing is, right, ladies and gentlemen, we can't take this all too seriously. There's this, like, imagine you sitting at the kitchen table with your guides going, and they're saying, why are you taking all this too serious? Why are you taking this so serious for? You've already done it. You're just manifesting it. So let's just get on with the manifestation, shall we? Stop going and digging into holes that you shouldn't be going into, first of all.
Get in the boat and flow towards your destiny. Quit swimming upstream. It's like, but I want to go up there. No, flow downstream. It's all good. It's all.
Yes. But at the same time, yes. So yeah, they're the kind of, you know, conversations I'm having as well, because I know personally, sometimes it gets a little overwhelming for me, because there's so much happening for me energetically, physically, mentally, the whole bit. Like, I'm just continually working. My busy, physically, it may look like I'm having a cup of coffee, but seriously, I'm busy 24/7, right? And I'm trying to do everything else, right? Sorry, Donna?
No, I said our DNA is being completely upshifted.
Oh, yes.
Our subatomic particles. I mean, we're shifting to crystalline beings, silicon beings. There's a lot going on. So
yeah, and I've even found my skin feeling really. My skin suddenly feels so different to. Yeah, I mean, that's one symptom, right? Last 4 weeks, I've been going and laying under the crystal light healing. You know, the quartz healing from Brazil. Those lights. You lay on a bed. There's 12 lights, or you know, point down to each of your. That. Well, I've been doing that for 4 weeks. Oh my gosh. I can't put it in human words. It has totally cleaned my energy. It has given me an expansion that I've gone into my unknown. I don't even know what's there, but I've gone into it, right? Physically, I'm becoming a lot more focused. My tiredness is starting to be not so much anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm connecting to my abilities in ways that I couldn't even imagine 2 months ago. So I have my friends, and I'm always encouraging people to go and have that done, right? Because it literally cleans the energy that goes beyond your outer regions, because we're so limitless and so boundless, right? Our energies, and we're, as humans, we only see so much of our energy, because that's all our little human minds can handle. But since I've been doing this, I received my 13th. I have a 13th DNA strand, what we call my alien DNA strand. That's activated, so that's my mantis energy. And then I got given a 14th strand. I don't even know what that's going to give me.
Right. I mean, there's a lot going on. You know, so when we're tired, it's okay.
I thought I'd share that with you. Hello?
Yeah. No, you froze. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm encouraging you all to do a lot of self-healing. Like, if something or somebody comes into your life that you resonate, that you can get external healing from, go. Because we can't do this on our own anymore. Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're stuck. You know, especially when you're stuck or you're having major issues. It's time to ask for help. That's
sure. But you don't even have to be stuck. If if your team brings in somebody or something that will help you with your healing, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're stuck. It just simply means that healing will be able to expand your light into an area of your energy that you have not seen yet.
Right. And it's time to do that. It's time to, let's use all the tools we have, whether they're self-healing, whether you're, going to somebody else. That's perfect. It's like, we're all here to do this thing. This is what we do. Like, so I was a traditional RN for registered nurse for 30 years. And that's what I did. This is just healing on a different level. And, everybody does their own thing. We're starting to be positioned to where we can make the biggest difference. And a lot of people are shifting careers. A lot of people are shifting. They're finding out after these lockdowns, they can't abide where they're living or who they're living with. And so things have to shift. And the more you resist, we know what happens. So it's time to really take stock of your lives. And are you happy? Are you peaceful? Are the people around you preventing you from doing that in some way? You have to carve out your little piece of paradise, even if you live with people who are very negative. And I know a number of people who live with spouses who are glued to CNN. It's very difficult for them, but then they have to make a decision, whether they can live with that or not, whether they can carve out their peace and not hear the noise, or not. This is all about what you accept. Versus what do you envision for a perfect life for you? What if you could have the perfect thing, the perfect home, the perfect everything? Imagine it, because we think too small. Spirit wants more for you than you think you're worthy of. It's like, go for it. Whatever you think you want, imagine that. Don't imagine the bad things that are going to happen. That's what we're drawing to ourselves. This whole, everything is expanded in this energy. And it's time for us to really look at what we want and how we are going to serve in this new energy. Now, what do you picture the new earth as? How do you want to serve in that energy? Oh, well, I can't do that because why? Who said that you can't? And we're reinventing ourselves every day, and do something that makes you happy, and it doesn't work. And I think the new earth is going to be that way. At least my new earth. We're all going to be doing what we love. And not worried about, oh, but I have to make more money, or, oh, I have to do this. No, what do you want to do? Then do that, and when you're drawn to something else, then do that. I think it's so important. We think we have to live in these old paradigms. And those paradigms are we're shattering them. So it's exciting.
It is. The other thing too is you've gone soft. So I can't hear you. The other thing as well is wherever you are, whatever you're doing, however you're feeling, whatever tools you're using, whatever it is, just know that's where you should be right now. That's where you should be. Because the questions I always get is, what's my purpose?
Right. Or wait, I want to be here, and you're not enjoying the moment. I want to be here. Enjoy the moment. This is all about enjoying every now moment. We can't plan. We don't know. We can't plan weddings. We don't know. So we're all thrown off balance. And so it's one moment at a time. And that's a gift.
Yes. So the important thing is that just know that you are where you should be, regardless of what it looks like, because there are things karmically, because there's karmic contracts that it's not as black and white. It's not black and white. There's layers and layers of things. So I always say, when somebody asks me that, I said, oh, what I say, oh, okay, so you want to know what your purpose is? I said, you're doing it. You're sitting here. This is what you're doing. This is your purpose. You're sitting here because you want to know more about yourself. That's your purpose right now. Oh, but I thought it would be me getting on an airplane and seeing all these other people. I said, well, how could you do that when you can't look at yourself? I would say.
And
because Sure, because what we need to do is be looking at ourselves as human beings, because we have, what we're doing is we're activating our own Akashic records.
Mhm.
Now, the Akashic record, okay, some people say it's external, it's in this big library. Yeah, sure. Sometimes I see it as a big library, but let me tell you, it's your DNA that's your Akashic record.
Absolutely. Your DNA is your Akash, always. And
every time
Akash, we've got Gaia and Akash, but we're part of both realms. We're part of every realm. We've lived everywhere. We've done everything, or we wouldn't be here now. And so that's how important we all are to this plan. You may think, oh, well, I'm only doing this little part. You know what? Some people are here to just anchor the light in their family. That is no small thing. You don't have to be, some megastar out there talking to a million people a day. Some people are here to anchor the light in their community, in their family, in a very dark place. A lot of people have 9 to 5s that they work in very dark places and they're anchoring the light. And that is
yeah, well,
very
I worked in the corporate world for 40 years, and every time I wanted to leave, I would get, no, this is where you need to be. And I went, why? I just hate it here, because this is where your light is required. So if you can shift your self perception about where you should be, and know that it is your light that's required to be there, regardless of whether you're cleaning toilets or creating a movie,
right.
That's where you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
So my purpose is to help people remind that. I'm reminding people of that. You can do what I can do. You can spend a year integrating with your higher self as a braid, so you can have them talk through you. You can do that. Why not?
Right.
But it takes a lot of work. Yeah, but it takes work. You have to be prepared to do the work, because every time you have a high dimensional energy braiding with your energy, it does hurt.
It catalyzes so much stuff. Oh my God. Oh my God. The first time I was really connecting with the Arcturians and really integrating, I forced it, and they're like, no, you've done enough. You need to take a break. No. I'm telling you what, I had vertigo for weeks that would not go away. It was too much. They're like, okay, she thinks she knows everything. Let's show her. She's not ready. But
well, that's what they would do. That's what they would do. They say, okay, like I used to with my team, like, because for many of you, you don't know, like between 2000 and 1989, something around there, to 2007, I was in my own self-isolation. So that meant I didn't talk to anybody about this stuff. I went to my corporate job. I did everything I had to do, but I would come in this room, sit with my team, and then they would teach me everything I know, right? So my point is, I used to sit here in tears. I used to yell, fuck you. I used to say, oh, sorry. I want, like I want to, I want to know more. No, we got to take care of your human brain. We got to take care of your human mental state. We got to take care of your human body. Because if you take on
the cathedral,
because if you take on more than you can handle, you will become incapacitated. That's the reality as well, right?
And I had to learn the lesson because I was very stubborn and I would not listen. And so here I am back. I was still doing surgery back then, and we did a lot of laparoscopic surgery. So we're working with the camera, and like if the doctor would like move my arm, I'm like, oh no, I have to drive, because then I'm like, you're gonna lose me if you do that. I have to drive. You tell me where to aim it. It was that was really weird. And then it never happened again. So I learned my lesson.
Yeah. So the whole point of it is just take your time, listen to your guidance, listen to the whisper of your inner voice. If it's loud and chaotic, and if it's confusing you, don't pay attention, because that's just the cabal trying to distract you from what you're just about to do. always know that when you're just about to be aligned, you will have more challenges than you normally would, because that's the dark alliance trying to keep you from your light.
Yes.
Okay, remember that. So this is where this is when people come and see me. They're just about to do this. They're just almost there, and that's when, excuse me, but that's when the shit hits the fan. Okay.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a beautiful thing when the shit hits the fan, because wow, then you're free, you're catalyzed, you're ready to move to the next level. And you see down on what you've just been through, and it's like, oh my God, really? That's what was keeping me stuck? And I think people quit before they get there. Just like you were saying, they're almost there. And again, these are human levels that we're talking about, but you know, when you break through something or you accomplish something, whether it's writing a book or whether it's forgiving someone who abused you in your past, whatever it is, we all know that feeling of release and freedom. And everything that we're doing is about remembering that we are free. You talked about the mantis. So hawks are, red-tailed hawks are plentiful around here. I live really near the park, and they're my spirit animal. And whenever I need to be reminded that I am always free, no matter what, they come and they show up in very odd ways. So I had one, like when I first moved to this house a year ago, there was one just outside my window and she wouldn't leave the tree. And it was weird. And none of the other birds were scared. So I was like, okay, you're here for me. Because I was free when I got here. And yesterday there was a red-tailed hawk sitting in the tree for hours for no reason. The squirrels weren't worried. Nobody was upset. And so I know something is coming. They're always messengers for me. So again, watch the animals, watch what nature is telling you. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You have to hear it from a guru. No, you're the guru. So
like, let me share with you an experience I had the other day. Like suddenly I can start hearing I can start hear nature, like I have crows talking to me now, birds and stuff like that, right? But the other day, okay, so it was really hot here in Adelaide, right? So by the afternoon, it cooled down. We got the wind picked up, so I opened my windows. Now the window was open this much, okay? We're sitting in the lounge room, and suddenly the wind comes through, through the window. Now, that would only happen if it's like this, when there's just a little bit of space and the wind. Well, and I'm sitting there and I said to my husband, wow, I said, the wind wants to talk to me. I went, okay. And I said, and then it went quiet. And then I said, well, what would you like to tell me? And then suddenly it lifted up again and the blinds are moving and the wind's coming through and it's going, change is coming. Be prepared. Change is coming. Don't be afraid. Change is coming. The winds of change are coming. Don't be afraid. Mother Earth needs to ascend. That's how I hear it. But what I'm sharing with you is the actual experience of the wind coming through my window unexpectedly, things like that. Or the other day we had a huge thunderstorm, lightning, thunder, the skies just lit up, massive ships in the sky.
Yeah.
I was outside watching it from my veranda, and a massive ship above my head. And also know that your families are closer to you than you think. The Galactic Federation and all the galactics, whoever you want to connect with, they're just imagine they're in their ships, okay, and there's a big mess hall, right? Just imagine that. They're in there celebrating you.
They are.
Let me tell you.
Yes. And
they're celebrating you because they want you, that's their meditation, right? So they're wanting you to feel the tingles, wanting you to feel your energy vibrating like it's happening now. They want, that's like them clapping their hands, woohoo, and it's like one of your team members sitting down and going, oh gosh, oh great, she got it. Yay, she got it. She got it. Right? And it's like that, right? It's
They're
like
cheering
that.
on the best reality show ever.
Yeah. Right.
They've been celebrating for years, but now it's like really ramping up, and they're like, it's, my guides will give me a view of like what they see, and they see us like tokens on a Monopoly board moving around. You know what I mean? Oh, look at, she did it. Ooh, the dog's not doing very well, but the iron and the race car are doing great. It's like, oh, this one just got it bankrupt or whatever. It's so funny. But when she showed it to me that way, she's like, it's a game, we have to remember to have fun. We are here because we wanted above anything else to come here and experience this shift for the ages. This is something no one's ever done. We are the greatest humans that have ever lived. We are the greatest angels living in human form, or we would not be here. There were many who wanted to come to Earth, but all of us are here because we are 100% suited to do this. Our whole Akashic record throughout this galaxy, throughout this universe, has given us the experience to be here right now. We've been through ascensions on other planets. We've been through ascensions in other universes. We know what to do, or we wouldn't be here. And so that's why we're the light workers. There's a lot of beings here who have never been on Earth before. There is a lot of first timers. You'll know them when you see them. They don't know how to open a checking account. They're having problems with this very heavy energy. We've slogged through it for lifetimes. We know. We're the Atlanteans, come back to right the ship. And so every one of you is meant to be here. And we're going to activate as many people as we can with our light. The light we're illuminating the shadows. The darkness doesn't have anything, nothing without the light. Doesn't exist.
Well, that's right. I mean, the two are one, really, the light and the dark. We're all part of the one thing, really.
And without like we were talking before, whatever the dark does, the light's using it to its advantage because the scales have tipped. And without the darkness, we couldn't appreciate the light. We've slogged through the darkness for how many eons? We're done.
Oh my gosh, I'm exhausted, Lori. Like, please.
Too. And here's the thing, we're going to be able to rest soon because there's so many up and coming that are going to take the heavier burden. And when we vacate our position, and go on to do something different, there will be plenty to take our place, So.
And there is a waiting list too, by the way, to come to the planet. It's and they actually gave me a number, so just to satisfy my human curiosity. So they gave me 8,880 years waiting list.
That's a pretty long waiting list. But it is so fun. Yeah, sure. After we've shifted all the heavy stuff, you guys want to come in and enjoy it. Sure. No, it's all good. But we'll be back to enjoy it too.
Yeah, like what yeah, so if we bring back our focus onto, what we're doing with our human lives and how we're getting rid of the karma and all that type of stuff. Remember, there are many layers on this planet. So, I'm excited because I'm going to come back and have a life of full abundance so I can just sit on the beach.
Right. I hope so. Yeah. But we're going to plan something crazy for ourselves. Oh, well, there's still this dark pocket over here. Let's incarnate there.
Of course, every time I say that, my team around the kitchen table going,
yeah, they laugh.
Is that what you think, my friend? Remember, you're being of service. You're a service. You're. And I'm going, piss
out
off
and play the harp when you're at home. So when you come here, it's all about shifting the energy. I mean, we're shifting an entire human collective. It's not just about individual ascension. It's not just about a civilization like the Maya ascending or Atlanteans ascending. This is an entire human collective that was so fast asleep, and still much of it is so fast asleep. But all it takes is like one photon of light. Let one photon of light in. And I think that we are going to be seeing that happening because there's going to be things people cannot abide by. And I think everybody's going to get activated that is meant to. There are people that knew they would not be ascending with the planet. That's fine. They're not ready to. And that's okay. But they had the experience of being here during an ascension, whether they choose to or not. And there's no problem with that. I mean, how many times have we gone around this little galaxy and not been ready to ascend, right? Yeah. It's like this time it's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. So
Oh yeah, this is why I have this inner drive, and so what I do as my work is I get you to tap into that inner drive. So basically that's what I do. But I have this inner drive and I am so determined to complete what I've come here to do.
there is an urgency and a real, like, we know that we're almost there. We know it. It's like then we're going to be going downhill. It's going to be coasting, and it's not going to be so hard. But we've got to walk
No,
these desert days right now. We have to.
sure. But that ease and grace, let me tell you, the more work you do on yourself, the more layers you release, the more understanding you have about how you behave, what you think, and all those things, life does become ease and grace. Because I've got to tell you, around me, everybody's going berserk about this virus thing. You know, they can't do this, they can't do that. For me, my business has thrived.
Good.
My abundance has increased. It's giving me time to go and do a lot of self-healing, so I can, instead of waiting another year, I'm doing it all in 2 months, you know, because I want to spend next year telling everybody about it, right? Because as you do that, remember, you are being the example of that light that can expand and that can bring that photon light that we're talking about into embodiment. So now is not the time to be going, oh yes, I'm a spiritual healer and here I am and I can do this and I can do that. If you do not embody all the highest selves that you need to bring all the information you need to help another person, you're going to be seen as wishy-washy. You're gonna attract, yes, but you're going to attract the energy that just wants a 30-minute reading, and that'll just ask you the same question at the end of it, like, how many times have you had those? Like, shit.
Yeah, like when am I going to get married? What am I get? Yeah, I know. And I already tell people I do not do fortune telling. And if that's what you want from me, you're in the wrong
I
place.
don't do that either.
So,
I don't do that. I'm the one that you would come to when you're just about to level, and I help you get through I put on my gum boots on, and I take my shovel and I come with you and we jump down the rabbit hole and I help you clean it up. So then you do what you do is then you're creating a ladder. So every time you got to go jump down a rabbit hole, you take your ladder, you put the ladder down, you go down with ease and grace, you deal with it, and then you got a ladder to come up, you wind it up, and then you have a rest and you do it again. That's what I do.
and you do it as many times as you have to, and you rest when you have to, and it's okay. So it's going to be really, it's already so amazing. I can't even imagine what's around the next bend. And I told my guys, no, I want to wait for the unfoldment. But, I do know that everything is going to be beautiful. I know it's going to be a little bumpy before we get there. How bumpy for each individual person is up to them. But I do know it's going to come to everybody's door in one way or another, at least here. And I do think that it's probably everywhere in one way or another. It's gonna touch everybody. What this revolution is, a worldwide revolution. It's not just about one country. It's about humanity. It's about the collective, shifting the whole collective to see what's been going on, the greed, the wars, the evil, all of the things that have characterized this realm for thousands of years are being exposed. They're picking up the big rock and shining the sun, and nothing can hide from that light. And everybody's going to see it. And whether you choose not to see it, that's up to you. But most people aren't going to be able to not see it. And there's ugly stuff that some people aren't going to want to look at, but we have to. As a collective, we need to look at it, or it's going to happen again. And
yes, and so individually, I'm the one that helps you look at it.
yeah, and it's, you know what? Sometimes you remember when you were scared of a scary movie or the monsters under your bed at night, and your mother would, or whoever would come and, hold your hand, and we'll do it together. That's where we are. It's scary to look at that stuff. But if someone is there to hold your hand and help you and say, you know what, those aren't monsters under the bed. That was just a shadow. That's a perfect analogy. I think that's a good idea. We'll get there. And again, we're shifting this whole collective. We have to be kind to ourselves. We have to remember that we're here to create unity. Right now, there's a lot of people that can't hear and can't see what we have to say, and that's okay. One day those people will hear. I know it. I know there's a lot of really, 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 really good people that believe with all their heart that what they're doing is right, and good, and in their best interest, in their highest good. And they've just been fed a lot of lies that they believed, and it's okay. It's okay. I really think a lot of these people are going to come around quicker than we think, and it's going to be okay.
Well, there is a quickening, of course.
Yes.
I know that the people that come and work with me go on a much quicker pace than maybe somebody else does.
They've committed to do the work. And so now all the forces of the universe are going to come and help you. If you're digging your heels and going, no, I don't want to look, it's going to be a little harder. So it's everybody's choice. But good times are ahead. And I think it's going to be amazing what's on the horizon. And it's amazing what's happening now. If you just let yourself feel it, guys, don't be worried. Don't be checking the news every 5 seconds. Don't worry about what this guru says. Do your own stuff. Do your own stuff. You become your own guru. Find people of like mind that you can connect with. We're all going to have a little bit of dark night of the soul. Every once in a while, you're going to go down a rabbit hole, like you said, and you're going to discover stuff that you didn't even know that you need to clear. And it's going to be okay. As long as you keep at it and know that there's nothing wrong with you. But you need to step out of the judgment of yourself. I think that's a big thing. We all want to judge ourselves and not forgive ourselves. We're forgiving everybody else, but we don't forgive ourselves. Little children that things happen to, we don't forgive ourselves. That little child didn't know any better. There's a lot of that inner child healing that I think we're working on too. And the guilt from Atlantis, and the guilt that is just perpetuated by the cabal.
Yes, well, you keep mentioning Atlantis, and can I just say that we're cleaning up the shit we created.
Oh, we totally are. That's why we're here. I mean, there were so many. Once again, the cabal came in fine fashion, and we were duped. And you would think that we would have the wherewithal to know what was happening again, and we didn't, because it was always just so brilliantly done. And you have to admit, they're masters of the darkness. They're masters of.
But yes, however, just as they are masters of their whatever they do, we are masters of our light. So we're on equal par, right? So if you can move through your life knowing that you are as equally as powerful as they am, eventually they'll get tired of you because you're not responding.
Right. And they can't touch you when you're in your light. Your light is so much greater. But as a collective, people are starting to see through it. And once you see through it, they can't touch you anymore. And that's the beauty of it. And it's lovely it's like seeing people come online, like, oh, there you are. Haven't seen you since Atlantis. There you are. So I knew you'd make it. And it's a homecoming for a lot of us, which is beautiful. So I'm looking to see like how long we've been talking for like an hour and a half. I would love to do this again. Like we can do shorter ones.
Yeah.
So maybe we end for today and then we can chat when we're recording.
No, well, thanks so much for listening and having me on. And check out my page, Be Your True Self Katerina, and look at what I do. And if you resonate with me, connect up with me. Okay, so I'll just Gabriel wants to say something just quickly.
Perfect.
Yeah, so just give me a minute. So hello, my beloveds. Thank you so much for being you. Thank you for working at all that you do. Know that your energy is always received with gratefulness and thankfulness. We are here for you, my beloveds. Always know that we are here to guide you through your challenges. Change your words. See how things change. Look at who's around you, yes. But look in the mirror and look into yourself. Look at your self-worth and your self-love, because when you can retrieve those things and retrieve your self-power, then nothing in this world or the galaxy can ever take that away from you, my beloveds. There you go.
Thank you for that.
I just love how it just flows now.
I know. I love it. I'll give a little.
But he's right.
I'll give a little message from Wiltara, because she's wanting to just say a little bit too. So hey, let's do it. Okay. Greetings, beloved ones. As the beautiful Katerina has echoed, we are so proud of you. We watch you, we celebrate everything that you do. Oh, you do not know how beautiful your light is, but we see it. We see it from where we sit, and we could not be prouder. We are always here to love, to guide you. We are but a heartbeat and a thought away. We celebrate you home. Oh, dear ones. What is in your now may seem a little difficult for you, a little challenging. What is on your horizon? What has already happened in the quantum field? Oh, beautiful ones. You have so much to celebrate. We are with you. Connect with us daily. We are here to assist you through every trial, through every tribulation, and through every celebration. We love and honor you. Always here to serve. And so it is.
Beautiful. I just love it when for me personally, I love it when I can get together with like-minded people and we sit around the kitchen table, have coffee and carrot cake, and we all have a conversation. It's great. I love
That's what I feel like we're doing. And so it's great. And we're obviously soul family. I don't even know how we met, but we did. And that's all that matters.
On Facebook. Probably. Thank God for Facebook, you know, even though it's a crappy platform, I've met a lot of people on Facebook, and yeah, you know, it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. And you know what? We'll put your information beneath. I'm going to try to upload this to YouTube, and you know, I'll give you all that stuff. But anyway, so we'll just sign off. All of our information will be below, and we'll do this again soon. So thank you.
Love to.
And thank you guys for listening. Mwah. We love you. Keep the faith, hold the light. It's all good.
Yes. And always remember to be your true self, and always love who you are no matter what.
Beautiful.
See ya.
Bye.